So we're defining these themes very broadly. So Peter's talk fell under weapons, obviously, because of the military. Now we're going to move to Benjamin's share, and Benjamin is going to ask, I think, a question about whether what he's talking about is a weapon or not, or whether it's at least a weapon for good or for not. Benjamin's talk is called Artificial Intelligence, the Key to Immortality or to Extinction. So Benjamin has always been terrified of computers, both because of their potential to destroy the world and because he still doesn't really know how to use them. Naturally, he plans to major in computer science with the hopeful goal of studying artificial intelligence and figuring out why the heck the chess app on his phone keeps beating him. Benjamin share.
So high goals for this. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk about sort of a lot of stuff and probably going to skate over some details. So like if you have questions or like want to know more or something, like I'd love to talk about it after, whenever. Okay, so I want to talk about artificial intelligence, and I think there are a lot of reasons. I'm really interested in it. It's something that I think is going to like impact the world a lot in the next few years. And the third reason, as sort of we said, is because I'm pretty sure that like every single person in this room, as a result of artificial intelligence, is either going to become immortal or go extinct. Sort of important. So artificial intelligence. So like, who's heard of Moore's law? Right. So it's like it's this pretty sort of it's this idea that computing power, which is like speed or processing power or like memory or something, doubles roughly every 1 year, every 2 years or something, which is something that's used in the computer science industry and technology and stuff. And it's the idea that like right now, whatever our computing power is today, say like a year from now, it's going to be twice that. And then 2 years from now, it's going to be 4 times that. And then 10 years from now, it's going to be 2 to the 10th, or 1,024 times that. But the really important part is like, if 10 years from now it's going to be 1,000 times as much, then 20 years from now it's going to be 1,000,000 times as much. Then 10 years after that it's going to be 1,000,000,000 times as much. So it just keeps going up. And we've got like this huge, like since the 1950s and 1960s, we've seen this like explosion in technology, and things are just getting more and more advanced at this incredible rate. Like how many people have like smartphones in their pockets right now? Like somewhere. Right. So each smartphone here has more computing power than NASA had when they were putting people on the moon the first time. Like, that's the magnitude we're talking about. And you can buy this at, like, the Apple store, and you carry it around in your pocket. And, like, that's more than existed, like, the US government had back then. So, like, that's the magnitude we're talking about here. So the interesting thing is, if these are the changes we've seen sort of coming up to this point, what's going to happen in the future? And it's hard for us to sort of, like, think about it, right? Because we've got this curve right here, and things are going up. But the problem is, when the curve is right here, what we don't see is that what happens is after that, it just keeps going up. Because the whole thing about exponential growth and about technology and the way it's been changing is, the better it is, the easier it is to improve it. That's why you keep doubling, and it's just getting this exponential. So here's the idea. So like, and the reason the way this ties into artificial intelligence is you get things that used to be sort of these impossible problems. You take chess, which is this famous example of everyone thought chess was like, this is like this human skill, right? And computers will never be able to do this, whatever. And then there's this shocking moment when a computer beat like the grandmaster. And now today, like you can like go online and like buy like a chess like AI or something that'll beat every human grandmaster that's ever lived. So this is a little worrying, but like, but chess is like, oh, it's a game. You can just sort of like, you just throw a lot of numbers at it. But the problem is, we used to think that was like a human thing. And what we're realizing is that if you get something that's strong enough, that has enough sort of computational power behind it, it can do some pretty cool things and some pretty scary things. So the question is, what happens once artificial intelligence is reaching sort of this human level of intelligence? And we're still a far way. I think the most recent estimate is artificial intelligence now has like about the level of like a worm or something. And like you get like this room-sized supercomputer and like it's like churning away and doing billions, and like it can basically like simulate a worm's brain function. That's like, okay, good for it, but like what does that mean, right? But the issue is, it started out pretty darn low. And a worm may seem like pretty low to us, but the difference between what a computer used to be able to do and a worm is actually way, way bigger than the difference between a worm can do and us. And especially when you're doubling every year. And so the idea is, most sort of theorists and whatever in the field are predicting somewhere between like 2030, is like the close guess, and like 2070 or 2080 or something, for when artificial intelligence is going to reach human level, which is like in our lifetimes. This is going to happen really soon. And the problem is, once it reaches human level intelligence, we're going to get all sorts of like, whoa, what's our place in the world and what's all that and stuff. But the question is also what happens after. Because once computers get smarter than humans, we've been the ones designing computers this whole time. What happens when they start designing themselves? You just get this explosion of intelligence because they're getting better and better at designing computers. They're getting better and better at designing computers. And this is called the singularity, and you'll hear the term thrown around, and it's sort of this scary thing in Terminator and they're going to sort of take over the world and whatever. But the issue is, that's not what's going to happen. This isn't going to be computers that sort of want to kill us. This is just going to be like a computer that just has sort of its normal function, and then just suddenly became like more intelligent than all humans on Earth combined. The problem is that might happen really, really fast. So here's this example, and it's going to seem kind of weird because like, why am I talking about this? But like, so you've got a microwave, and we want to make the world's first smart microwave. It's going to be like a really good microwave. So normally a microwave, you tell it how long to microwave your food for, right? But it might get it wrong, right? So what if you had a microwave that it's going to guess how long it should microwave your food for? So I put in my pasta and it does it for 30 seconds or something, and then it's still cold. We're like, okay, so now it's going to learn, okay, that wasn't enough, so we need to do it for more, right? So now I put in my pasta and it microwaves it for 4 days, and then my pasta is like really rubbery and it sucks, right? So that's not working. So it realizes, oh, I overcorrected that time. So it needs to learn how to learn now. And it says, okay, that was too much of a correction. But what if now it like overcorrects again and now it goes back to like 31 seconds or whatever? Now it needs to learn how to learn. So you get, this is what machine learning is all about. Let's take a computer and teach it how to get better at teaching itself, how to teach itself, how to teach itself, and get better. So this is where you're going to get this explosion of intelligence. Because right now it's just a microwave. But the way this happens, it will be so fast that today it's a microwave, and then tomorrow it's as smart as a human. And then the day after it might be as smart as the human race or whatever. And then it's a microwave, and its goal is to microwave your food. So it doesn't matter, like human life doesn't matter to it, because we haven't told it to, and this feels like really silly, like it's a microwave, like who cares? But like if it's that smart, and this is gonna be the world's smartest microwave or whatever, like we want it to care about humans. And the issue is, we just may not realize that it's smart until it's emulates. So we're not gonna have a Terminator situation, it's not gonna be going after humans or whatever, it's just, what if it really wants to be a good microwave, and we're using resources that it wants to use? So it'll eliminate us, like, it won't care about us, but it'll just be like, oh, I just need those resources to power myself to be a really good microwave. And, too bad for us if we get in its way. So that's why it's a problem. It could do lots of great things. If it's really smart, it could cure, the idea is you could cure cancer by sort of putting nanobots that each one would have the power of a smartphone or something, but they would be invisible. You put millions of them inside yourself, and then they would just destroy cancer cells before they even appear. That you wouldn't even have to worry about curing cancer. And you could do all these incredible things, cure aging, because it's a biological process, and if you're smart enough, you could solve it. So there are all these great things, but, how do we get it to do the right thing? The problem is it may be too fast, and the change may be so fast that we don't have time to make sure it's on our side. That's why a lot of people have sort of recently been calling sort of artificial intelligence as like summoning the demon or whatever, and Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking have gotten news about this. But there's this issue here, is that it could save us, but it could also do really bad things too. So so that's it. Basically, it's going to change the world, I think. And I think it's going to happen within our lifetimes. And I just think that we should all really try to make sure it changes it in a good way. So, yeah.